I got one. Let's see. So for those that have seen this before, I've been working on region maps, and shout out to Camo and Chris there for kind of offering some guidance and feedback on some of the early work that I've been doing there. But I just want to show a quick update of kind of where we're at. So in general now, if you have region data, and we have a little shortcut for region maps right now within your chart selectors. And you can see it paints, or by default, it picked countries. And so it's painting the country boundaries for all of our countries in our built-ins. So we have built-ins for countries and states. I've actually have state data. So if I go ahead and set this up, and then pick where the mapping is, we start to get region maps coming in. So we have tooltips working now. Maps also seem to kind of load a little faster. I've been kind of in there tweaking things for a bit. And you basically just build out the mapping between the kind of the GeoJSON features and the properties there and how it maps to your data set. And that's what this all kind of is, and how you want to color it. And it starts to come in. You can also, we have this idea of custom. I've shown this before a little bit, but we now support both GeoJSON and vector tile inputs. So if I have a link to GeoJSON data, I can paste that in like before. Hi, Diego. And do basically the exact same thing, because that was the same GeoJSON format. And if I can show off vector tiles as well. So if I take a vector tile source, and within vector tiles, you can have different kind of layers in there and the same property mappings that you would have before. And also my data does not have good country data, so I have to fake it. So if I go ahead and give myself random country data and then build out the same mapping, you start to see the same thing. So we basically have it working for GeoJSON, vector tile, and kind of custom sources. And you can see what my random number generator gave us.
Woohoo!
Rob, will it jump to your data if you're like scrolled around and search things like that?
Not yet, but it is on my list of to do.
Cool.
So boundaries with regions is kind of interesting. Like,
Yep.
we currently have no way of saving where you're looking in the map in like the viz config. And so that's something we're probably going to have to address to do this, because if I give you country data, it's like, where do I go? Because it could be anywhere.
Yep.
So we have to think about it. I want to do, like, if you have, it's like with some types of region data, it makes sense to kind of get a boundary and automatically show that, but with others it doesn't. So it's kind of a hard problem, but it is on my list of things to do. I'm hoping to get this on internally soon, so like early next week, so people can start playing with it and get feedback. But that's kind of where we're at.
Cool.
Do you mind giving the quick, like, 5-second, the diff between GeoJSON and vector?
So GeoJSON is basically a giant JSON format, and this came up in the last demo because some of them can be tens or hundreds of megabytes, and having to pull that in and consume it can be quite beefy for a front-end process. And vector tile is a lot more dynamic, so it's kind of, you give it a link and it kind of tells you, that link kind of contains information about how to pull tiles, and so then as the map scrolls, it will pull regions based on what you're looking at. So it's a lot more dynamic, smaller, easier to work with. And that was Camo's main input, was they would like to use vector tile.
So vector tiles are more performant?
Yes.
Generally? Okay. So for very, very large, like, mapping data sets, we could encourage folks to use vector, and we support that. Cool. It's nice to have both those options.
Is that what Camo is doing, Rob?
I think they heavily leverage vector tile, yeah. And so
Okay.
that's what that was their feedback, is they wanted to be able to continue to do that.
Cool. Thank you. It's awesome, by the way. It's super cool.
Thanks.
I know I get a secret. I mean, I get to see it before anybody else, but still, kudos.
Rob didn't demo the full dashboard load, but it's actually really impressive how quickly the maps all render when you have like 4 or 5 tiles.
Let's see if I can find it. It's again, remembering there's no bounding boxes for these right now, so it's just going to pull random configurations. But yeah, like they all come in pretty quick. It's pretty interesting.
That's insanely fast.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quick.
I have
It's
I
really
have a
nice.
demo dashboard that's like 10 times slower than that with one map.
Yeah, they can be pretty quick.